caught. They just had a bad game against Fresno. But other than that, they were at 40-20 on an ACC team. 40-20 at halftime. So they've really they got a lot of tools there, and I expect this is going to be a really difficult game. If we can get any road wins this year in this league the way it is, we'll treasure every one.
Jacob?
John, what do you think is the biggest area of emphasis for your team going into Northwestern?
Well, probably, it's been a month now since we played, I guess, a true road game, right? We went into that bee's nest, that hornet's nest at Villanova, really played well, but got to go do that again. And I don't think you ever get used to that. You ever go in there and say this is normal. So that's probably get off to a good start. Our last three losses, we lost at least 3 in a row, and every one of them has been heartbreaking. It was our last regular season loss. Actually, it's been our last regular season loss was to them last year. So just probably handling the crowd, handling another away game, the Big Ten games is probably the biggest thing.
James?
John, you mentioned they go predominantly man-to-man this season. I guess how glad are you, or how relieved you're not seeing that matchup zone that's kind of giving us?
Well, I think that we beat them once last year, and they beat us one time last year. So, whatever people do, I think we're going to be ready for it. But now you got to make shots. You just got to go out and make shots. But it is, we're seeing so much change every single time we play anybody. Like when somebody had told me that Purdue was going to switch every screen, even off the ball for that game, I was so surprised by that. So you got to be ready to adapt. So if they may come up and play all zone, and we've played against enough of it right now, we should react fine.
It seems like with each passing game, maybe the target on your guys' back is growing. How do you feel like this team has embraced, being the hunted and kind of getting each team's best?
Well, we haven't. I don't think when we went to Villanova we were the hunted, right? For a road game. Yeah, that's what I mean. And so now we are. You got a great valid point. So now we are. So we're going to have to be that type of team that's going to go on the road knowing, right, that you come in here with that target on your back, and you're going to expect it to. We expect you to perform, but the other team's going to have extra juice when you're playing a highly rated team. If ratings mean anything right now, certainly the opposing coaches would love to talk about that. For us, it's a early season Big Ten game.
Chris?
The confidence with which Iggy's shooting the ball, how much does that open up his game, and are you seeing that confidence from him?
Yeah, when he got here, he was just a driver, and I'd watched him for 3 years, so I know there was elements of his game from the outside that he became so successful at driving, and in some of the areas where he was driving, there wasn't necessarily great help defense, so he could get away with it and use his athleticism, his strength to get by. And it was easy. He's going to be on the bench a lot in foul trouble if he just puts his head down and tries to bully to the basket. And so he just had to take a step back and say, wait a minute, I can shoot. I have to look to shoot as often as I look to drive.
And then I think Chris Collins has thrown some of those curveballs at you, some defenses that you weren't expecting to see. How much do you prepare for that in the practice when it comes to?
Yeah, it's really hard, especially in a short turnaround. Yesterday we had to walk and talk a lot of things. Our last group got a really good workout in, but our other guys, we could be all prepared and not have any legs. So it is difficult when you have a short prep and you have to you got to be ready for anything. But they could come out and do a lot of things. He's really a good coach. He's got a former assistant on the staff. They know I have our coaching staff, and especially me, have many weaknesses. He probably knows them all. So, we got to just be ready to be versatile and adapt.
Ryan?
With Purdue switching every screen, what made you guys so, able to beat that defense?
We had Villanova did as well. And parts of the Providence game did so, and then all of last year, everybody started doing not every screen, but especially ball screens. So we could go into a plan of action pretty quickly. We just didn't expect that. We thought last year they did it against us, but it was more because of Mo Wagner. Johnny had 1-3 going into this game. That's why you would switch a lot when shooting 5, and so that's what made it a little bit different. And We did get stagnant down the stretch with it, but that was more about the ball didn't move like it did early in the game.
When that happens, do you ask to be more aggressive attacking bigs?
Yeah, when they're gonna stand there, I mean, we prefer to have a good mix of shooting the ball from 3 against a big who's gotta stay off you, and we practice that often. Or getting the big up a little bit, get him to buy that fake to contest and then go by him. So that's, when people are switching defenses, the smallest player on our court becomes very, very important to us.
Right in the middle with Jay.
John, Tom Sound did notice earlier today about your guys sweeping Big Ten awards. It's kind of hard to believe with how good last year was that neither of them got individual. These guys don't put individual accomplishments first, but what does it mean to you to have 2 players sweep the weekly awards this week?
Player of the week, Jordan Poole, Iggy, freshman of the week.
That's what it means to me, right there. I won't even tell the players.
All right, no.
So it's good. It's good. I'm happy for everybody that there's a piece of paper that says that. But I was not aware of that, so we got to blame him. But that's okay. He knows I don't care. So,
Thus, no
and
email.
neither do they.
Follow-up to that.
But they had a good week, and it was a great week between the support, 2 sellouts, right? Really loud crowds. Played 2 really. We played 2 great basketball programs. Purdue's won more Big Ten championships than any Big Ten team. I don't know if you young people are aware of that. They've won more Big Ten championships than any Big Ten team, right? And North Carolina and Michigan are tied for the most NCAA wins in the last 6 years. Many of you may not know that. So we got those 2 teams in here, and we get 2 great victories in front of great crowds. It's good. But now you have a question.
Yes, did you see any of the highlights of Mo last night scoring? his
I
first
did
points?
get to see him.
And
I
just
did.
what's it like for a kid that you went all the way to Germany?
Well, the most
See
exciting
that?
part is seeing the reaction, the expected reaction from his teammates, and watching just his play and trolling on his on the phone with his Twitter account of how they love him. I mean, but you all got to know him. It's so like he's the easiest guy in the world to love, and so he's going to bring to the I don't care what team he was with, but to the NBA he's bringing the same energy that he brought to Michigan, and it's contagious on a team, and it's one of the big factors in teams winning.
Zach?
I know Northwestern didn't necessarily do it, but last time you did play Rosemont, it was a frustrating loss, and then you guys
Yeah.
did lose against the championship game. What did you feel like your team learned in that game? It seemed like the players took it especially hard for a loss.
I'm sure that any loss, there's a residual effect there. But we have, when you get beat, I think it's probably very sobering for people to understand, well, what could I have done different? But our games have been extremely close with them, and there's always a few things that, I know better than to do that, or the coaches say, we know better than to call that action, and we didn't. So I think everybody grows every time. But if the year before when we lost on the 94-foot play, right, we didn't lose again until Oregon beat us. We went on another run after that. So it is, good comes out of those things, but I can't put my finger on what changed after that.
And then you've talked about this team being a really gritty, tougher team, defensive oriented. Does that play better on the road, do you think, or is there
We've been, I'm really proud. Now, people probably want us to win every game. I'm really proud of our road record. I mean, we were pretty gritty. If you saw how we ended last year on the road, and in neutral situations, but that Penn State Maryland finish last year was pretty impressive for those kids. And so we have to be that way. There's no other option in the Big Ten. Leading the country in attendance how many straight years? We're going to have huge crowds, near capacity or capacity every day. We're going to have to be gritty or we won't win.
Andrew?
Coach, you talked about your tight rotation. There's obviously then guys who aren't seeing as many minutes. I guess what's the key to keeping those guys engaged and happy and bought in and all that?
The non-rotation guys?
Yeah, the guys.
Yeah,
who
no,
aren't seeing.
yesterday we had a tremendous workout yesterday that our scout team is improving. Luke Wilson and C.J. Baird and Jaron Falls are really, really helping us right now, and then we'll put different people on that, and it's been Adrian will go to it, Colin will go to it, Brandon will go to it, David will all get on that scout team at different times. And when they were trying to be Holy Cross a little while ago, it was not good. And now they're sort of understanding these different things and getting better, and that's been a key to us. But yesterday, for example, we had Luke and CJ worked an extra hour with the coaches afterwards. The better they get, the better we're going to get. But you can see it right now in those workouts with Brandon, John, and David. Our goal is to get those guys ready as fast as we can, so that if we need them, and for any reason somebody slumps, somebody gets injured, somebody gets in foul trouble, they're going to be ready. We can't count on a 7-man rotation.
Right, and then I guess for those freshmen who are obviously, they're all stars in high school, is there a key to, making them realize this is just part of the process?
Well, we played the Nick Saban clip yesterday about the Alabama quarterback situation and how the kid had waited all year, and all of a sudden I'm forgetting his name now. I know two, and
Jalen
Hurts, that what Hurts did, and how his name is forever a part of Alabama culture right now, what he's done, and how important it is that you got to be ready, and that most people are like that. Most young men are not going to walk on in their first year. They're this immediate success, and that coaches got them in at the end. And even the stars, the LeBrons and Kobe's that went to the pros is their first year. Those were not like great years, but so it's all relative for them, and we continually point out about who was not on our scout report 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that's a star now.
Matt? John playing 31 minutes last game, 34 minutes the game before that. How comfortable are you with him putting in those kind of minutes week in, week out? I mean, maybe you don't have to do it over the next few, but when you get into the thick of Big Ten, can you rely on that?
Their catapult numbers, and I think most of you know this thing they wear on their back is something that, we met today with our performance team, and just they're going to stop me halfway through practice day and tell me where John's numbers are, Isaiah's number, or Xavier's number, and Charles's numbers. Those are the ones that are playing the most minutes. And so I really want Iggy as well. And where are their numbers right now? Because we have to protect it in practice, so that we don't have to protect it in games. And it will work itself out somewhere along the line. But I think Isaiah's been in foul trouble, so we couldn't use him. But John's, and the media timeouts and all these things, he is getting some rest. But 31 minutes is probably a maximum, and if he's averaging that, let's see how he can handle it.
Chris?
You told us at Media Day with the schedule in November and how young you guys were in some spots that it was going to be ugly at times, and you haven't lost a game haven't won a game by less than 17 points. Are you impressed with these guys? Surprised? How would you describe it?
I'm never surprised.
Yeah, I know that.
And you know that.
Yeah.
But I did that, and what I expect, I don't expect anything but change, and the change has been very positive.
Yeah.
How about if I say that?
Okay.
There's been just great change in our team. When you see a guy like Jordan Poole goes 1 for 10 to start, and then goes 5 for 5. Now there's other things he's cleaning up at the same time, but his defensive numbers are good. Everything's good. I think I love the change that I'm seeing in a positive way by a lot of people. But we have to. The biggest challenge right now is we're going to play really good teams, and that we got to make sure that we're not beating ourselves. That we understand how we got to this point. And what's the next game? We got to play a very similar fashion. And one day somebody's going to get 25, and you're going to get 6, and the next day you're going to get 25, and he's going to get 6, and it doesn't make a bit of difference. So, case in point, while I won't be talking about who's player of the week, right? I'll be talking more about let's go beat Northwestern.
And you get that sense that these guys are bought into that with that?
I think it's one of the most
Yep.
hardest thing that everyone has to do, right? Because you aren't sitting with the family afterwards, or you're not talking to the home guys, or you're not getting the tweets. It's one of the hardest things they all have to do, and we are going to be on it all year long. But it is so human to want to, be the ones that you're the star, and that's good quality to have. That you want to be the best of anybody. But sometimes you got to take a second, whether it's foul trouble or the guy that's guarding you, or the guy. We've been here before with the Glenn Robinson, Nick Stauskas, Karis LeVert, all these guys never able to do it. We'll continue to do that again. Try to do that again.
James?
John,